Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Come on, won't you say it loud? Ayo, we gon' turn this out. Tom Clark's Main Event. Dropkick now.
Hey, what's up, kids? Welcome back to the program. Tom Clark here back with you yet again on another Friday. Happy Friday, kids. We made it. We made it to another weekend. Aren't you happy? Buddy, I am. It's been an interesting week here. Not been a bad week, just been interesting. But we made it once again. We are so glad you guys are here with us today as folks start to come in. A gentle and friendly reminder to please smash the like button on your way in the door as you're going to hang out with us. We appreciate you very much. If you're here for the first time, welcome. I'm Tom. This is my show, going strong since 2014. You are tuned in to episode 394. What do you think about that? 394, baby. You know what that means? 400 is right around the corner, and we cannot wait to get there. And we're glad you're along for the ride. We talk pro wrestling here. We talk a lot of AEW, New Japan, and independence. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about AEW's 6th anniversary and the return of a certain star from another company that was given his walking papers, and now he's back in this company for some odd reason. But again, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us today as folks start to come in. If you will, kids, please share this on your feed. That loads to me. And as you can see in the chat there, I have dropped the link to the Boink Studios YouTube. Please go check it out. We've got brand new podcasts on the way, 3 brand new shows debuting next week. We're going to talk a little bit about that here today. So hopefully you will enjoy that. And hopefully you're subscribing and checking it out as we speak. So you are up to date and you're going to be there when the shows hit, man. And we've got established shows as well. We got archives that go all the way back to 2014. You know what you can beat with that? You can't beat that. There's no beating that. Don't even try, because we've got good, level-headed, sensible content. No one's screaming at you. No one's dropping a bunch of F-bombs because they don't like what you think. No one's telling you what to watch, and no one's telling you how to think about things. In this space in Boink Studios, we are a safe space, kids. Everybody's welcome here, okay? Most everybody. All right? But most opinions are welcome as long as you keep a good head on your shoulders and everybody play nice. Be purty, as my granny would say back in the day. But yeah, we're a safe space, baby. We're all inclusive. So no matter what your background is, no matter what your current situation is, all are welcome. So we appreciate you very much. Ray Dean, welcome back to the audience. Welcome back to the show. Kids, Ray Dean, Ray's Sports and Slams is debuting this coming Monday, live on October 6th at 6 p.m. You do not want to miss that. Maria says, are you flying solo tonight? I am not flying solo. I got a guest waiting in the wings, and what an incredible segue you just gave me, Maria. So I appreciate you very much. Let's bring on the man who is going to host 2 of the other brand new podcasts coming your way next Thursday and next Saturday, the Patton Report and Bachman's Basement. Kids, please welcome back to the show, podcast host, musician, bearded legend, everybody, Chris Patton. Chris,
Hey, kids! Did I do it right, Tom?
I like that.
Did I Krusty the Clown it perfect enough for you?
Very good. I'm very impressed by that. Well done. Thanks for doing the show, man.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Dude, 6 years. We're talking about 6 years. No one thought this company was ever going to exist, if we're being honest. Like, you're going back to the Young Bucks in Kenny Omega, the little nugget, Cody Rhodes of, hey, we're just going to do one pay-per-view. It's going to be a one-off. We're 6 years later. There's some good. There's some bad. I'm sure we're going to get into all of it, but
we are going to get into it. Yeah. And I love how the entire thing started off as just, them not liking the way Meltzer said what he said. And then we get AEW, which is very cool. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like to get back at Dave. I think it was just, I'll take you up on that, which I love that story. What a way to start your company, man. You know,
people really forget about the power of the Bucks and Kenny Omega before this company existed, coming off the Okada matches, which is why we'll talk about Kenny a little later tonight. I think they've been doing him a little dirty recently, but yeah, man, I remember I was doing a podcast, Wrestling Geeks Alliance, by the way, if you guys want to go back in the archives and listen to all of this happen, AEW started, and Kenny maybe going to WWE before AEW started. Oh, he might be there. He
right.
might be at the Rumble. He just fought at the Tokyo Dome, but he could take a helicopter and get there.
Oh my
was a
God, I
whole
remember
thing.
all that. Yeah.
Yeah. We're pulling the nostalgia. 6 years, man. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about
Yeah.
everything that happened.
Did you think it was possible that Kenny was going to get? Was there any part of you that thought, yeah, that might happen, or did you think it was all crap?
Not at the time. I thought for sure Kenny Omega, when you started hearing the rumors of doing a startup, I did not think at all that there was any way that he was going to be coming to WWE. I thought it probably would have been better for his career financially, right? If he would have made that move. Probably a lot less wear and tear on old Kenny, all things considering of how his AEW run went, but no. I think even if you go back and recap them shows, I'm like, yeah, it's not happening. I did call the Hardy Brothers return though to WWE on that paper.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you, and kids, we're just jumping right in. So grab onto something and hold on. So for the AEW 6th anniversary special, I do like the video package they played. I like that Punk and Cody were both in it. I like that they're not ignoring and acting like the past didn't happen. I think that's a mistake. If you watch New Japan for an extended period of time, you get kind of spoiled because they talk about every company because they can, and no one shakes their finger at them. So I always appreciate that. And AEW does it to a certain extent. They don't really mention the words WWE on the air too awful much, if ever. But I like that they went there, Chris, because honestly, man, there's no sense in hiding where you've been, dude. Everyone knows it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a nice touch for the people that have stuck around for 6 years, right? Like,
yeah,
acknowledge it's a 6-year anniversary. WWE does this as well. They tend to draw theirs a little further out. They don't do a yearly anniversary, but like every 5 years, you get some sort of anniversary celebration with WWE.
Yeah.
You know, any company, I think TNA does it as well. And I think, it's a lot of hard work from a lot of wrestlers, people in the back, people that have been working there production wise for 6 years. It's kind of crazy to think about,
yeah.
So I thought it was really cool. I thought the video package was very well done, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say hello. Thank you, Maria, for saying hey to me. And yeah, WWE could book Kenny Omega. It's not. It wasn't that far fetched. They could have done the same exact thing they did with AJ Styles of him coming off Tokyo straight to that Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
So when those rumors were going around, 7 or 8 years ago, it was not as far fetched as it sounded of being able to book Kenny Omega in WWE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I'm on the record, Chris, many times in the past saying that Kenny is your guy. I love Darby. I love Orange. I do. I love both those guys. I think Max is great. I think Heyman is awesome. But I think at the end of the day, Kenny's your guy. And the moment it wasn't Kenny is our guy, to me, maybe everyone disagrees, I felt like that's where this thing started feeling weird, right? And it doesn't mean Kenny can never lose. Kenny should be the champion for 5 straight years. Nothing like that. But it kind of felt like, here's the greatest thing you've ever seen, and here's Kenny. But yeah, but that's, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to kind of put it into words, but I kind of felt like he was never, and I'm not saying Roman Reigns level of, okay, let me breathe. Give me somebody else for goodness sake. But like, make it known this is the guy in this company. You want to do something here, you got to go through that guy. And they never really did that with him.
Well, the guy was Cody, right?
Yes.
Like going in, the guy was Cody. Cody was more known in America than Kenny. Not that people didn't know Kenny Omega. He had that banger with Okada that like diehard wrestling fans knew. But they also, like Cody had 10 pounds of gold, right? So there was more, and he was also someone formerly from WWE. He has the Rhodes legacy tied to him. Some might say losing Cody Rhodes might have been the worst thing AEW's ever done, right? But for the smart fans, for the people who knew Kenny Omega as Kenny Omega, you built the company around him. You built it off the back of Kenny Omega. I've said this on the show multiple times. If it's not for Kenny Omega having those amazing matches with Okada, I don't know that AEW exists. I don't know that there's they built that pay-per-view off of that, but they built it off of people like Stone Cold Steve Austin saying it's one of the greatest matches he's ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But what comes with that is you're also getting a very old Kenny Omega who has been through the ringer. And this is what we're seeing, 3 years later in AEW. So it's hard to strap a rocket to a guy who's got, problem like injuries.
Dude, he's already talked. He's mentioned retirement in an interview recently already.
Well, he's almost 40.
But what is that in pro wrestling years anymore? We're seeing guys wrestle well into their 50s, man.
But quality wrestling.
Well, I mean, if you're going to say that, if you're going to come at me with reason, we're going to get nowhere.
you could play quarterback into your 50s if you wanted to as a back.
Sure.
Vinny Testaverde did it, right? Like you can do a lot of things well past your time. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing to do.
Right.
So if and he's moved on to doing gaming conventions, and he's really big in the fighting game scene. If you're a Street Fighter fan, he's going to be at the next Capcom event. There's probably other things that he likes more than wrestling at this point, if I'm being honest.
I mean, I can kind of understand that. I can kind of really understand that. And, it's hard to know without having him to talk to here. But like, and what would he be blunt? I don't know. Kenny seems very professional. I don't know if there was an issue or if he had any sort of, why are y'all doing this? I don't know that he would say it out loud because, it's not good business, Chris, to not because I'm afraid for my spot, nothing like that, but because you don't want to be the guy that airs dirty laundry on social media or in public or anywhere else, which I think is smart. But I wonder what his personal opinion would be. Like, does he feel like, yeah, like I'm not trying to be the linchpin of this thing, but I kind of feel like I haven't had enough spotlight. I wonder what his take would be.
Well, I mean, he's kind of talked about some of this stuff on his Twitch streams, right? Like specifically the Punk incident, some of his injuries, how booking was going, how he kind of got, he's in charge of the women's division, just shoveled off on him. And he's not really in charge of it kind of thing. And some of how much in charge of things the EVPs actually are. He's talked about a lot of that stuff. The most frustrating thing with Kenny Omega is there is a tie to him and the Bucks. And I don't say that because a lot of it that built part of the company, right? The popularity in the YouTube series and stuff. But once they started trying to book him as a main event, they had to separate him. So his run with Don Callis in AEW is actually the best run, right? Like the triple champion title run that he had is probably his best run in AEW. And unfortunately that got cut short by injury. But before then, God, he was wrestling across 3 companies. He was in TNA, he was in AAA, he was in AEW at the same time, defending multiple belts, had an incredible match with Christian.
He did.
It kind of
so good.
Slept on. It gets slept on. No one talks about it, but that's like that was like a coming out party for Christian coming back out of retirement, I guess. But man, like, I don't know, that's been and I've talked about the podcast before. I was like, I think all roads lead to Kenny Omega.
Yes.
Because he's their Hulk Hogan for this company, whether people want to say it or not, but he is the person that everyone should aim to be, right? So even in the wrestlers they bring in, like your Will Ospreays, they wanted to be Kenny Omega when they were in New Japan. It's a weird thing with Kenny, and it sucks that he's going through that Crohn's, right?
Diverticulitis.
Diverticulitis, right? Same thing as Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
That's terrible. It's terrible that he's suffered all this, but a lot of it has to do with the wear and tear he put himself through when he was wrestling in New Japan that made him what he is. So it's wrestled different. And I think he showed that on this episode of Dynamite, like changing his style up, doing more comedy stuff. That could be the Kenny Omega doing that could last 10 more years, maybe.
Murray's got a good point. Omega versus Hangman was one of AEW's best story arcs. I agree with that.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
There was a lot of goofiness around that stuff, though.
Well, that's true. You know, his penchant for doing comedy, and I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to have a seance here and bring a certain Southern manager to the table, but him wrestling wrestling a kid, Ibushi wrestling a blow up doll. I mean, not to get into it, but like, I kind of understand why that stuff. I think if it like mystery wrestling, let me frame it this way. Mystery wrestling is fun. The whole thing is BS. Everyone knows it's BS. Nothing in mystery wrestling is meant to be taken seriously. They're having fun. Evil Luna and those guys, mazel tov to them. They're having a blast. And I love it. It's not for everybody. I think it's very fun and entertaining. But when you tell me here is New Japan, there's history and legacy and champions, and every time there's a title match, we see all the champions on the screen, and this is time honored. Now there's a blow up doll. I'm like, I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait. Whoa. Slow your roll. Slow your roll. What are we doing? It's kind of like there's a time and place for comedy, which I think we've always said basically in every company, there's a time and place for comedy. And not every single show is maybe the time and place for comedy. I don't know. Maybe people would disagree with that. I think Chris is froze up here. Give him just a second, kids. See if we can get him. See if we can get him back on here. But yeah, and look, folks, if you disagree with that, that's fine. If you enjoy your comedy wrestling and you want it all the time, I can totally respect that. I got friends who they love the mystery wrestling, and it's really all they watch. I've talked to people; it's all they watch. They don't watch the major companies, and that's fine. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But I can't say that pro wrestling is a variety show. We've said it many times here on the show before, kids, which means it's a mixed bag, which means it's a little bit of everything, right? So that's what I'm tuning in for, is a little bit of everything. If you don't like something from one match, keep watching 2 or 3 matches later in the show. You might see something you love. But that's what a great pro wrestling company should be, to me. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing with Kenny, folks, I don't know. I'm with Chris on this. Something's off. And I agree with everybody in the chat here. Chris maybe needs to be a little bit more selfish about his booking. But, again, Kenny's a professional. You know what I mean? Like, does he want to be that guy? Does he even feel like anything's wrong? I've said this many times here on the show, kids, and I'm just to kind of hammer it home for you, just so everybody is aware, and maybe you've heard me say it, maybe you haven't, I don't know. There's 2 realities when it comes to this stuff. There's the reality as we see it, and there's the reality that they're living, right? So our version of what's really going on may not be their version, or it may be identical. And there's really no way to know unless you're friends with these guys and gals. And unless you are or have the scoop, you don't really know what reality is, at least their version of it. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just ranting, Chris.
No, it's my fault. The power went out here.
So, oh, no worries. It happened.
We had a power flash, so the internet went down. So apologies for that, guys.
No worries. We mentioned a little bit about comedy wrestling and about how there's a time and a place for everything. Maria says, agree, too much comedy can be a problem, just like in MCU movies, and the comedy gets in the way sometimes. I think, Maria, I won't disagree with you. However, I would say, like with a pro wrestling match, an Orange Cassidy match can be comedy from start to finish, and he can still get his moves in, and it'd be a really fun time. But when you pepper that into 5 matches in a row, then you become, all right, did we do too much of this? Do you know what I mean?
So comedy wrestling is really weird in itself, right? Like, you want that to be in your mid card.
Yes.
And you get 2 great examples of this in AEW. For Kenny Omega, it feels like he's punching down. Right? So he's doing but he's the guy you want to have the Kazuchika Okada match, right? Like, I don't need you doing comedy. I want you to be serious badass Bad A, sorry. Apologies. That won the G1. That took Okada to the limit. That's who I want. That's how WWE would have booked him. Going back to that, they would have brought him into Royal Rumble. They would have booked him as that guy. He would not have had. They wouldn't have given any liberties on being a funny. He would not be able to do what Xavier Woods does, which is kind of Kenny Omega to some extent, because they have similar personalities. Not mean that in a mean way or anything.
No.
And then you get the opposite of that, where you have Orange Cassidy, right?
Uh-huh.
Who punching up. He is
He
a
is punching
comedic
up.
character that carried that belt and had by far, and I've talked about this in the past, the best title run of any champion in AEW.
I totally
which
agree.
which is like, it's so weird to think about that. So comedy wrestling, when I think of comedy wrestling, I think of like Santino Morello, right?
Uh-huh.
Or Truth. It's or even to some extent Honky Tonk Man, or what Honky Tonk Man became. It's mid card stuff. Like it's in the middle. So Kenny Omega coming in at the echelon that he was in, he shouldn't have been doing any kind of comedy ever. And I get they had a YouTube thing and there's a whole subsection of fans, but that is, you're talking about smart wrestling fans that know that, oh, this is their YouTube thing and here's real life. Like,
yeah.
For your consumers, you're putting this thing on TNT. You don't want Kenny Omega guy being goofy.
Yeah, you don't want them coming out dressed as Ghostbusters for Halloween in a match. I don't know, like, but
that's
you know,
fine. But that's fine if he comes out as a Ghostbuster and proceeds to wrestle a match seriously.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You know, like if he's choking a man to death or something. The problem is like when they start doing the goofy stuff with the Bucks and Kenny, it feeds into the match.
Yeah, it does.
It feeds into the spots that they're going to do.
Yeah. And it's again, it's just one of those things where it's like, if a show has 6 matches, do I need all 6 matches to be bangers with blood and intensely wrestled? I mean, they give us that a lot on the pay-per-views, and they're great shows. But like occasionally I want some lighthearted. You know, what's the old joke? Let me up, the let me up match, let me breathe, you know?
I would say they're too long, the shows, and there's too much blood and there's too much beatdown and there's 4 hours of people doing a lot of the same things. So that would be the example of when you would want a comedy match to kind of break some of that stuff up.
I mean,
and actually one of the best people on their entire roster does a comedy gimmick but pulls it off as a serious professional wrestler, which is Tony Storm, who's probably one of, if not the best in the business. If you're going to do it like Tony Storm.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Like, it is a very funny gimmick.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be. It was something that I hated to begin with, but well developed. Like, Kenny Omega is just doing video game references and cartoon references. Like, a good example is when he hit Sammy Guevara with a golf cart. He was like, "I'll get you, Gadget."
Nah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's funny, but that's not your top guy.
No. By the way, we're going to circle back to AEW, kids. This is going to be an AEW heavy episode, but you gave us a segue when you mentioned Sammy. Andrade is back, kids. Andrade is back in AEW. You and I talked off mic, and we said 3 things, and that's all we did because we wanted to save it. Before I say a word, give me your thoughts. When you saw him take that mask off, what were you thinking? Oh, did we lose you again?
No, I'm here.
Give
me. You want me to give you my thoughts on Andrade coming back, right?
Yes, please. When you saw him take that mask off, what'd you think?
One, he looks jacked.
Looks great.
I wonder what kind of disciplinary actions that could have happened to him in WWE. I'm going to give the guy a benefit of a doubt. He's married to Charlotte. It's probably part of the reason he left AEW. As far as contract goes, they got a divorce. I'm assuming things weren't that great after that at that company. Right. What I will say about Andrade, that the ceiling is so high. If you watch that NXT run and how good he is in the ring, even his last match in AEW, there's a lot there. I actually love them putting him with Don Callis. He's got a good promo there. I think that is what they did with him initially. They brought him in. Something about him, starting to take out members of this very, very, very large Don Callis family at this point. I think there's a lot they could do there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he got fired for. So
supposedly it's multiple wellness policy violations, and supposedly he wanted to get fired. Now, kids, notice Tom saying supposedly because he doesn't know. So I'm just giving you the general consensus of speculation. So take that with a grain of salt. None of us are Andrade. We can't answer the question truthfully. but it sounds as though maybe he was indeed trying to get himself fired. He had a 30-day no compete after getting fired. Once that was over, here he is.
I love the wellness policy only falls in when they need to fire someone because
Sure.
like both the Usos have multiple DUIs
Randy Orton.
and multiple steroid suspensions with the tribal chief himself. It's fun how that works, but like, you know, all signs do point to give WWE a little credit here. Andrade is definitely on the gas right now, brother. Like,
well,
is the biggest he's ever been.
He looks great, but I you might think I'm weird, but I never jump on that, and let me tell you why. I used to, you know, and it's not that Tom's attacking people because I don't think you're attacking him at all, Chris. And if anybody in the chat's saying that they think he is, I don't think you're attacking him either. It's just what you think. But when Eddie died, the first thing out of everybody's mouth, steroids did it. And I'm like, the guy, he's been dead for 2 hours. Like, what are we doing? Can't we just say, oh my God, what happened? You know, but no, the first thing, steroids did it. I'm like, all right. So not that it hit anybody else this way, but from that point, I'm like, I'm never going to get on anybody again because I don't know. And like, if it were to come out confirmed, he did this, here's the proof. You know what? Cool. I'll eat my words. But I don't know. Chris, maybe I'm weird about it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I mean, I think, you know, the biggest thing is that, you know, the amount of size he gained since last time I saw him on TV to now, right? We're talking 6 months. It is a wellness policy violation that you're talking about. It checks out because you don't just, and it might not even be steroids. It could be human growth hormones. There's tons of different ways to get, I mean, like, you know, look at some of the Avengers when they're not being Avengers. Look at The Rock currently after doing that last film he just did.
Yeah, he put on 30 pounds of muscle for that movie is what he says.
It's just convenient for WWE to get rid of people causing them.
Well, I think he made enough noise, and they were
they
tired of him making noise.
The point of the wellness thing is like, oh, it caused trouble, and this goes back to even like in 2006 with Rob Van Dam and Sabu. Sabu getting caught with weed or whatever at the airport.
Yeah.
Actually taking the fall for Rob Van Dam, by the way, Sabu.
Yeah, he did. Right. They were riding together too, which is a big no-no because, you know, back in the day, that would have got you fired in the territory.
And also don't put the two ECW stoner guys together in a car. Probably.
No, not a good idea. So let me tell you what I think. I don't think they need him. In fact, I know they don't need him. I don't know what he's going to get that they didn't try to give him before. To Maria's point about Sammy, the first thing I said when they took the mask off, first of all, you see him in the mask, you're like, it's Andrade, it's got to be him. But he takes that mask off. I'm like, boy, if I'm Sammy, I'm going, hey, why is he? Did anybody know he was here? Like, I'm not trying to defend Sammy, but brother, when you run your mouth, that's running your mouth. If I run my mouth to you, you know what? Suck it up. But the minute you throw the first punch, you're gone. I'm sorry. Like, Tom, he egged it on. I don't want to hear that crap. That's BS. That's not the 80s anymore, dude. You know? I'm
gonna disagree with you though. It's different cultures. He's a Mexican professional wrestler that wrestled in AAA, and you don't just as well. That's the same reason that CM Punk did what CM Punk did for the Bucks, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't. It's different when you get into a locker room. I'm not saying it's right.
Sure.
But it is different. And he is not the only person to have a problem with Sammy Guevara.
Totally right. Yeah. And I'm not here to defend Sammy Guevara. I'm just saying.
And he didn't get fired for that incident. He did not get fired for that. He left. No. His contract ended and he left.
Yeah.
And went back to WWE. So it is not a situation like there was and I think I even talked about it on the podcast back in the day. He was trying to intentionally get fired, which I mean, maybe, but you know, there's this narrative of people talking about Andrade like he's Alberto Del Rio, you know, like he's this.
Right.
You know, he went back to work with WWE. He was married to Charlotte Flair. That relationship's not working. WWE is always going to protect Charlotte Flair. It's easier to get rid of Andrade.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I wish him well. It's nothing personal. It can't be personal because I don't know the guy. So like nothing's personal. But like I just don't. Again, I don't think they need him. I don't know what they're going to give him. If he just is on TV every week, cool. But I don't know. And like if it happens again, if someone else presses his buttons, if there's another punch thrown behind the curtain, well, I mean, at that point, bye. Like, I don't know. Not my locker room, so who am I to say? But like to the point about, this is how they do. I totally agree. However, you are a professional. And to me, it's the same. Like guys, when they're told you have 7 minutes, brother, you're doing 7 minutes. You ain't doing 8. You ain't doing 10 because you're a professional. And if you go over, that impacts the guys following you. Now they're going to probably have to cut their time. And a professional sticks to his time. Professional takes it on the chin. If there's something wrong, professional talks to the guy. They don't start throwing hands. Tom wasn't there. Hard to say. But I've been in locker rooms where punches have been thrown, and every single time, I don't think we had anybody going, he had it coming. Everybody was like, well, that's BS, man. Now the whole vibe's down. Everyone's pissed off at each other. Like, I've been in bad locker rooms, Chris, just so you know. I'm just saying. So I've seen it happen. But, yeah. Again, I'm not here to defend Sammy and attack Andrade. I'm sure it sounds that way.
I mean, Andrade hitting Sammy Guevara is not. I'm sure he was egged on by multiple people to do that because, like I said, Sammy G during that time period did not have the best standing.
Yeah,
in that company. And this is also coming off of him having to go to sexual misconduct training for the whole Sasha Banks comments, or there's a lot of things going on. And him killing Matt Hardy twice, wasn't that a thing?
Yeah.
Not protecting people. There was a lot of people there that would have been perfectly fine with Sammy Guevara getting punched in the face.
Yeah, and look, but
I'm not saying it's right, Tom.
No, I get it. I know.
Andrade has never had any of those other backstage incidents. They're saying that he had incidents. They're not giving us any. We can't draw.
Sure.
They're saying wellness policy, and he looks like he's on the gas, and that's a good reason to fire him. Not that Randy Orton or it's on the gas, or AJ Styles, who came back the size of a house.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fine.
Marie says, I think Eddie Kingston had an incident with Sammy G too. Yeah. Again, like I'm not really trying to pull for anybody, but like, I don't know.
I just don't want, I don't want this to be the narrative. Like WWE fired him. He came back to AEW. The narrative should have been the reason that he left AEW is because his wife worked in WWE. He let his contract go out. He signed with WWE. That was it.
And there's this notion that Hunter is the man. Like we felt that way about Andrade. We felt that way about Malachi Black. We felt that way about FTR. We felt that way about, any number, well, maybe not FTR, but any number of guys that as soon as Vince was out, everyone's like, oh. And then we heard all those rumors and scuttlebutt. So-and-so wants to leave. So-and-so wants to leave. So-and-so wants to, Don't know if any of that was true or not, but it's funny how all of it came out at the exact same time. But again, if you're not there, how do you know really,
Well, I mean, if you're going off the Hunter is the man thing, a lot of those characters were built in NXT, which was
well done.
The one benefit of NXT is a recorded show.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. And when Triple H was really in it, nailing NXT, and people loved NXT, it was a recorded show.
That's fair.
And there's nothing wrong with recording your show. And a lot of those guys did really, 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 really well. They're all talented. The problem with both companies right now is they're very top heavy.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get your way out of the mid card. Now, what I will say about Andrade before we move along, him being in the Don Callis family with Takeshita, that's interesting. A power struggle between those two in the matches that they could have, and Don Callis going from the New Japan guy to a AAA guy could be really, really itself as far as a feud goes.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of people that are like Andrade, and he proved when he was in NXT as far as like the company goes. Because if we're talking about NXT AEW numbers, I think they're very similar. He could be a top guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with a mouthpiece like Don Callis. So
for sure.
I like the re-signing. And he's divorced now.
I can't say I don't like it, but I can't say I like it. I'm in between. I'm neutral. I really don't. This is the worst thing ever. No.
Well, do we want to talk about it, or do we want to wait and talk about the match and his return? Because I do have problems with his return.
So here's what I'll tell you. In terms of him coming back on Kenny. I mean, if you're going to come back, and they let him come back on Kenny Omega, not on anybody else. Like, again, we just got done saying that Kenny's your guy. So, like, now we're looking at Andrade versus Kenny, I suppose. But, like, are we to believe Andrade's going to win that little feud if it becomes a feud? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, because, like, they don't build Kenny the way they should.
Well, if we're going off that, then yeah, he'll win. He'll beat him.
Or is Kenny even going to be there next week? Is he's got some health things going on? Did that beat down take him out for 6 weeks?
Yeah, he's there and then he's not there. He's there and then he's got a lot of stop and start. But yeah,
and that's nothing against Kenny. He's going through.
No,
he can't do anything about health. Like he had one hell of a match on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
But I wouldn't have introduced Andrade that way.
Same. And Marie said, not trying to say you solve your real life problems with your fists, just as Sammy had a reputation of pushing people's 100%. Hopefully getting married, having children, Millet. I hope so too. And, we're not, that company ain't there to make Sammy Guevara feel better about his life. Again, Sammy should be professional just like Andrade should. And there's a time to maybe run your mouth and a time to not. And he never seemed to know when to shut the F up. So that's a problem too.
It's also the thing where a lot of people considered it a receipt for what he did to Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Right. Twice.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot there to unpack. Like I said, it's not like he took a belt and left or something and screwed AEW out of dates. As far as like working the shows, he was there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he hit Sammy Guevara in the face, but like he showed up to work the next day. So
yeah.
He didn't CM Punk about it. He didn't Young Buck CM Punk situation. They had an altercation. The altercation is more blown out of proportion by media because they were like, oh, Andrade's trying to get fired so he can go back to WWE. And it's like, well, his contract's up in like 3 months anyways. I don't think that was the case.
Hard to say. You might be right, but they might be right too. It's so... because we don't know. That's the problem. I don't want to say problem. It ain't a problem that we don't know. We're not there. Like, it's okay that we don't know, but it does make you crazy when you don't know because you're like, I can't put two and two together.
I just don't think it's that important, right? Like he's
no.
So obviously, any beef is squashed. He re-signed with this company.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, because like, why else would Tony re-sign him? Because there's two options here. Tony's an idiot. Right.
Sure.
Or Andrade's not as bad as people like to make him out to be.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. The second part of your thing is absolutely fair. That it's not as bad as, and it's been blown out of proportion. If it were to happen again, then I would say, but see, we'll move on.
He's never had any real, like, that's what I'm saying. It's not like there's been backstory, like going back even to NXT, right? Or AAA. There isn't this legacy that follows him.
No, but we also don't know if that's, again, not trying to throw Andrade under the bus, but we also don't know if there hasn't been other things happen, but the other locker rooms have kept it quiet because, when stuff gets out of a locker room, I don't want to say it makes everyone look bad, but it does kind of feel like, yeah, why can't we just circle the wagons? And I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe it'll never happen again. I don't want it to happen again. He looks great. Don Callis is a good fit. Don Callis has 43 people in that stable now. I mean, I saw them all, was it like on the ramp or in the ring? And I'm thinking, are we going to get to the point where it's like, I don't want to use the word invasion because the other company tried that again and it didn't work. But
It's New Japan, dude. They're doing New Japan rosters again. They're trying it again.
Yeah.
For the 5th time in AEW.
Well, you and I have differing opinions on that too, because I'm not against that. But I know you hate it in the States.
It's not that I hate it. It's just
You
AEW
hate it.
does it. AEW does it very poorly.
Well, that's true.
So, there's one man that can book that and make it work, and he works in New Japan. So,
yeah. Kids, we've been here for 42 minutes. Can you believe that? Before we go any further, one of those two, we got a little something to show you. And since the man's here with us today, we're going to let him take a look at it. He might have had something to do with it. Kids, check this out.
Don't miss the series premiere of The Patton Report. From video games to music reviews, movies, pro wrestling, and a lot more. It's the single greatest podcast of all time. Catch the first episode on Thursday, October 9th at 6 p.m. on Boink Studios YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Be there or else.
Did you hear that, kids? The single greatest podcast of all time. We might as well just hang it up. We might as well just all call it a day. We did the best we could.
RP.
We did the yeah. We did the best we could. Oh well. I need my days back anyway. It's fine.
Anyone doing podcasts about Pokemon, hang it up.
Hang it up,
guys.
It's over.
Cut off.
By the way, kids, a friendly reminder, Ray Sports and Slams this Monday, live at 6 p.m. on the Facebook and on Boink Studios YouTube. Please go check that out. Once again, I will drop it in the chat so everybody knows where to go look. If everybody watching and listening, either live or after the fact, is not subscribed on Boink Studios, shame on you and your house. I'm just kidding. But it'd be great if you could subscribe. You know why? Nothing's behind a paywall. Everything's free, and you're going to get 3 brand new shows for the price of everything you've been paying, which is nothing. It's free, and it's awesome. So Ray Sports and Slams premieres Monday. The Patton Report premieres Thursday, and Bachman's Basement premieres Saturday. And you don't want to miss it. We'll talk a little bit more about Bachman's Basement next week. But, yeah, it's a fun time to be had by all on the Boink Studios YouTube, kids. So, please, we're building this podcasting network, and all we're asking is for your time and attention. We're growing, and we'd love for you to come on the ride with us. So we appreciate you. Let's circle back to the AEW 6th anniversary show here. I enjoyed the show, but I know in the chat, you say you had a couple of issues with people cutting promos backstage. So let's hear it. Give it to me.
Okay. Mark Briscoe gets this incredible win over MJF. Clearly the biggest babyface in AEW. He's doing a backstage promo. Fine. Okay. There's one. Samoa Joe has this altercation with Hangman. One of the best promos in their company. Backstage promo. We had 3 backstage promos in a row from guys that should be in the center of the ring. Right? Like, it's whatever. And the other thing is, like, I get it's a 6th anniversary show. Every match was a schmoz. We gotta have 8 people in every match for the first 3 matches, and then do these promos outside of it. It was a fun watch. None of the matches were bad.
Yeah,
but it's that's I would have booked it completely different for my 6th anniversary show. I would have went back and said, okay, who do I have around that was here from the beginning? Let's book those matches. Let's book Kenny Omega versus John Moxley. Let's do it, right? Year 1 for no reason.
Well, that's how they book.
But yeah, they didn't do that. And, it's fine. They got a lot of people on the show. I thought it was a good show. I thought a lot of the matches were really good. The promo thing, especially with Mark Briscoe, like, their inability to strap the Rocket to that guy as their biggest babyface is still baffling to me.
Very baffling.
He's the most over person besides Tony Storm in your company. He just beat MJF at your pay-per-view. And he's cutting a backstage promo. He's not even really on the show. Great.
I'll do you one better. Why is he talking about Max? Number one, Max ain't there.
He
So
killed
you're
it. It's done.
Yeah. The feud's over. I don't understand. And this isn't on Mark. If he was told, hey, go out there and talk about Max, I'd be like, why? But haven't we moved on? Like, I wouldn't even mention
I am
Max's.
100% sure that he said that. He was like, why am I talking about it?
Yeah, like, why are we doing that? Why can't we?
Payoff?
I mean, that part to me, that got under my skin because I'm like, I don't understand what, like, when you tell me, Tom, stop what you're doing and watch this promo, cool. But if at the end of it, I'm going, why, what? Then that's kind of a problem. If it doesn't fire me up or make me go, I wonder what that meant. At least bait the hook with something. And Mark, by the way, it was great. Everything he did, because everything Mark does is awesome. But when I saw it, I'm like, why are we still talking about Max? Because when Max comes back, are they going to do it again? Is Max going to get his win back when he comes back? I hope not. I couldn't.
It also became a very weird, like 1970s babyface promo where he's putting over his friends coming back.
Yes.
Which is fine. Like, I like that part of it. It's like, oh, and so is back, and so is back. And he's like excited about that. But yeah, it was a weird promo, and he just got like the biggest win of his AEW career. If we're talking about it, put him in the center of the ring. Let him have that interaction with the people on the 6th anniversary
100%
show. So I didn't like that. I also didn't like, the Samoa Joe. I like the fact that we're going to get Hangman versus Samoa Joe. I do like that. I just don't like how it was done.
Tom's complaining all day. I'm not trying to. I love Joe and I love Paige, but Joe didn't like the way the match happened. Well, I'm mad. You want a title shot? Okay. And now that's the main event of Wrestle Dream. Okay.
So that's the thing is like sometimes this booking picks ideas out of the air, but they don't think about how those ideas set up. Like the idea of that happening between, let's say, the Kane and the Undertaker as the Brothers of Destruction. There's a 6-month period where they're a tag team. You know what I mean? So when that happens, when they get frustrated with each other, it makes sense that would be the match. You could do it with the Steiners did it as well, like Rick and Scott. You could pick like a bunch of tag teams that did this. Mm-hmm. No, they threw dudes together and were like, oh, Joe mad. Joe smash.
Right?
So it's a good pay-per-view match, though. That'll be a good match. Hangman and Samoa. I guess it depends on how you look at wrestling.
It will be a banger, and I will be happy to watch it, and I will love it, and it will be awesome. That is never the problem. The match is hardly ever the problem in this company, Chris. The issue is when you're like, wait, we're doing that, but okay. Because that happens a lot here, And like, I don't want to be a stick in the mud because the way they approach booking in this company is not the way other companies approach it, which is, we're just going to do it. Okay. Cool. But like, and people think, well, Tom's thinking of the other company. I'm thinking as a pro wrestling fan who grew up on the territories. I mean, to me, storytelling is not, you and me have a problem on Monday, let's have a world title match on Saturday. What? Like, and I know it's different because it's not about selling tickets to the arena anymore like it used to be. It's about getting ratings and selling merch. And I get it. But like, maybe I'm just too old school. I'm trying not to be stuck in that, but it's tough.
No, I mean, I don't think you're being too old school. Anything you watch, you want to see the good guy, your protagonist, overcome odds. You don't want to just give it to him.
No.
Like, here you go. Here's your ball. Like, what if Goku in Dragon Ball Z, they're like, all right, Goku, right here. Just go ahead. You can win this one against Frieza. Like, you don't want that. You want the buildup. You want the excitement. The entire, like any Western. Westerns are the great relation of wrestling, right? So you need the man with the white hat to have issues with everyone and have to crawl out of the mud and blood and put that victory in, like overcome the odds. Dusty Rhodes is the king of overcoming the odds, right?
Yes.
Like
yes.
The 4 horsemen. Dusty Rhodes getting his knee bashed in, coming back. You want that. I'm not saying that we need 1.5 year long storylines like we used to have, because you're going across multiple territories. And
Yeah, nah.
all of that.
Sure.
But like, tell us a little bit of a story. Don't just throw it up on. Oh, he mad. That's basically how they set that match up.
Right. And by the way, when they do it successfully, they're really good at it. They're really good at it. It's not as though it never happens. They do it all the time. But when they don't, you know what I think? Has it become that their storytelling is good? So when they don't do it, we're like, yeah, but this is the same company that gave us Swerve and Hangman. What's happening? You know, maybe that's the problem, Chris, is that we've seen what they can do, and when they don't do it, we're like, well, that feels hollow.
Well, no, the problem is the same problem that exists across all of wrestling. You don't have a baby face and you don't have a heel. So building a story without, like, do people really want to boo Samoa Joe based on how you have booked him the past few months?
No.
Do people really want to boo Hangman based on the way you have booked him the past few months?
No.
So we're supposed to hate Samoa Joe because he's mad that Hangman treated him like a plebeian, like a pleb in that match. He shoved the title in his face. That means Hangman is the actual heel in this situation, building to this pay-per-view match. So who am I supposed to cheer for? Is it Samoa Joe or is it Hangman? That's the problem with this company.
You are not wrong. And I testify because I've been the guy to say this for years. However, they don't care about that. They've never cared about that. They're on the record as not caring about that. Cody was on the record when he was there not caring about that. The Bucks are on the record as not caring about that. None of them care about that. They don't care about heel versus face. They've never cared. From day one, kids, they've never cared. They can tell you things and you can watch match. It doesn't matter. Knock it off. They don't care. You are not wrong. And again, at the end of the day, I've been saying this for 6 years. By the way, isn't that a funny comment? I've said it for 6 years. Who cares? They're still going, right? But like, I don't know if, in terms of this is I'm ride and die, and this is the, you know. And again, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I'm always thinking, yeah, man, but I don't know if you're getting ingrained into people's souls the way other companies did. Like ECW had a lot of faults. I mean, honestly, they did. There was some exciting stuff, but Paul Heyman put a lot of weird stuff on TV. Okay. But like, at the end of the day, people were so ingrained because they just freaking, God, I hate Raven. God, I hate, you know, and it was right. It was a visceral hate of that guy. We don't have that here. I don't think we're going to ever have it in AEW.
Yeah. And I mean, it's fine that they openly say that they don't care about it, but they also have openly stated the same exact amount of viewership without CM Punk. So it's okay to say that. If you're fine with just doing that, if you're fine with your company just being this, right? Cool. Do you. It's your money.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
You're booking it wrong, but it's your money. Yeah. Imagine if Eric Bischoff in 95 would have been like, I'm fine with the Orlando studios. That's cool. We'll just keep doing the same thing. Like, think about it that way. Like, think about like any company. It doesn't even have to be wrestling. Being fine with something and just letting people do whatever they want and nonchalantly, like a TV show, Walking Dead, for instance, right? Like, think about that. Like, after season 4 of Walking Dead, did anyone care? You guys are just fine with this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You can't get complacent when it comes to anything, when it comes to music, when it comes to doing a podcast, when it comes to your job, your everyday job. As soon as you become complacent and just like, oh, it doesn't matter. The story doesn't matter. It's like, yes, it does, dude, because there's other sports people could watch. There's other real sports.
Right.
People could watch.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're on Wednesday. Luckily, you're dodging a lot of stuff, but there's, somebody could watch, like, hockey season, the NBA is coming up. They could tune into something else.
Yeah.
So the idea of the story with wrestling, people care. And as soon as people don't care anymore, they're not going to stick around that much longer. You know, like, and like you said with ECW, very smaller fan base, but they did a great job of telling you stories about the one last ride at Harry Funk.
Yeah, yeah,
Or Raven
yeah.
stealing Sandman's child or whatever. Like,
Right. And
they give you a story.
Dusty Rhodes, and I just don't want to come off as that guy that everything has to be monumental. It doesn't. But Dusty Rhodes looked at the camera and did this and just say, "My hand is touching your hand. I'm reaching out." Like it sounds silly to just say it out of context, but brother, at the time, you felt that. You're like, he's talking to me, man. You know what? You felt like you were part of his journey, and no matter what it took, you couldn't wait to see him beat Flair.
I mean, that was the booking, though. You had the
Yes.
4 horsemen take him out of action.
Yeah.
They took him out of action.
Yep.
So him relating to the workers in the factories and saying, like, they tried to take my job. They tried to take food out of my family's mouth. Like, that's what AEW is missing. I'm not saying they need Dusty Rhodes babyface, though they do have a really great one in Mark Briscoe. If they could just like book something that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard. And this is the first time I've really paid attention to AEW. I've been watching all their stuff, but I paid attention today because I was doing your show and rewatched Dynamite. And I'm like, this is the problem with me watching modern wrestling. Like, no one really cares. And I guess maybe that's a me thing, but attention to details, man. You guys are getting paid like a whole lot of money to make a show.
And also, maybe this isn't fair either. You know how you can tell their crowds as great of a crowd as they can have sometimes. But Wednesday night, I heard the what chant all night. And I'm like, kids, by the way, you bought your ticket. You are free to do whatever short of hurting someone or throwing beer on a kid. Okay? Be an adult and compose yourself. Get a hold of yourself. However, if you paid to go to an AEW show to chant what, I just don't know how you and I could ever be friends again. I just don't get it.
Was it in reference to Andrade showing up? Because I'm
they were
right there with him.
They were doing it. No. During Tony's promo.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't catch it. I didn't catch that.
I'm thinking, I cannot believe. I've defended.
It's the same subsection of wrestling fans, man. Like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm only AEW." It's like, but 400,000 of the people that watch Dynamite watch Raw. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very few amount of people that only watch one or the other. They just like to yell at each other online.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So you're gonna get what fans, and they're gonna be like, "It's funny because like it's Tony Khan, but I'm doing the WWE thing." Like, okay. Cool.
Do you think that's, you know what? I don't think that's what it is. I think people just go, "Oh, they won't do it." I don't think it has anything to do with, no, I just think people are lazy. Hey guys, we can be lazy as fans. I'm saying there, and for all, and you're right about the internet. Internet is nothing but toxicity from start to finish. But I've had more interesting conversations online and podcasting with guys and gals than I do at a live event. And maybe I'm sitting next to the best person ever, but it's not. When we went to me and my kid, what show was it? Was it NXT show? I can't remember what it was. And the guy beside of me screamed for 2 matches straight. I mean, scream. We're in the front row. He would randomly just burst out with a massive, I mean, you know how close the seats are. A massive, like, rah! So I said to him, like, you know what? Take a breath. He paid for his ticket like you did. Don't sweat it. He did it one time. Too many. And I stopped and said, dude, I just looked at him and I'm like, give me a break. And he instantly came down and went, crap, man, my bad. He didn't even realize. And I'm like, and then we were cool. Nothing happened. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. Maybe I'm just ranting again.
Yeah, I have no idea where you're going with that. What I will say about fans in general for anything is, and this includes metal shows, specifically metal shows and wrestling. Take a bath.
Oh my God, yes.
Put some deodorant on, guys.
Yes.
I get it. I'm a metalhead. I get it. Sometimes you skip a day. It's fine. But if you're going out in public, like, be respectful to other people. You don't have to wow out. Also, for metal shows specifically, not everything is a pit. Don't start moshing next to the nacho stand. Like, have some respect for others. That's kind of what you were talking about. I don't know where you were going with it.
That's where I was going.
Just in general, have respect for people when you're out in public.
And
nice. And get off your cell phone when you're checking out in line. Don't
really
FaceTime call at the Dollar General. Just trying to buy one drink and you're having a whole conversation while this lady's trying to check your 46 birthday cards out or whatever.
What are the phones, the yellow and black phones? And every time it goes, every time you hit the button, like really obnoxiously loud.
Oh man, like the old school Nokia walkie-talkie phones? Is that what you're talking about?
It was like yellow and black plastic. Those phones.
Yeah.
Ooh, right?
That takes me way back. The Nokia series. NASCAR was once sponsored by Nokia, like the Nokia Nextel. Was it Nextel or was it Sprint?
If it's NASCAR, you lost me. I don't care like at all.
For the youngins in the audience, there used to be these phones, and the way to get around using your minutes, because back in the day, you'd have minutes on a cell phone. This platform introduced walkie-talkies. So people would be walking through stores, at least in the South here, doing the breaker 409.
Right? Snowman, you got yours on, come back.
Come on back now.
How did this whole show become Tom shaking his fist at the clouds? How did that happen? How did I get here?
It's me. It's why you don't let me do AEW shows with you.
Let's
talk about the positive stuff. Let's talk about the positive stuff. This was a good show.
It was a good
fun show. There's good wrestling on this show.
Yeah, I just needed a scapegoat. You're it. Tag, you're it.
Always me. I'm it.
It's fine.
I'm the real. I am the real scapegoat.
Reals, you need the mask. You need the goat mask. No, I enjoyed this show. There was way more to like about this show than not like. I thought every match. I think everybody brought it. Dude, on their worst day, AEW still has great effing matches. On the shows where you're like, why'd that happen? You still probably will get a match that make you go, my God, that was the coolest thing ever. Like, I think their talent is their saving grace. And you know what I mean?
I know. And that's why it's frustrating, right?
Yeah.
Because we would do it differently. But isn't that the fun of being a wrestling fan talking on a wrestling podcast? I like Tony Storm's stuff a lot on the show.
Yeah.
That Storm Zero looked nasty.
Yeah. Have we moved on from the Stat and Death Riders thing, you think? Have we moved on from that? Because it feels like we have. But do you think that's a swerve?
How do we move on from it? I'm so mad because I was in the chat talking about this while you guys were talking about it. I was like, why even drop the title? This is what we're doing. It's just to set up a Death Riders thing. We're doing a Death Rider, and now we're moving along already back to Tony Storm.
I mean, if you were
why
going to
drop the title?
If you were going to drop the title, why not have the Death Riders help her win it? That's how you drop it.
I agree. I said the same thing. Like, what was the point?
Yeah, I don't get it.
And she dropped it. She dropped it in a multi-person match. She didn't actually get beat. So it's.
It says we have not moved on. Well, there you go.
We can't.
There ain't no moving on.
We have to talk about it. Wait, no, we did move on. We're talking about Tony Storm now. That moved on.
No. That's what she means. That we have not moved on from Stat and Death Riders because we haven't. Because they get something stuck in their craw, as they say from where we are in these parts, and they just stick with it forever. Hence, Mark Briscoe's promo on freaking MJF because I don't understand it, but it's fine.
It's that statistician stuff that Tony does. It has to be, right? Like, he's like, well, I was going to do this, but instead I'm just going to stick with Statlander and Tony because I need Tony on. It has to be something like that because, like, the thing about looking at stats is sometimes people jump off the page. If you give them the right story.
Yeah.
They can jump off the page. You can't look at wrestling that way. You can look at sports that way.
Yeah.
You look at sports betting that way. But like with wrestling, it doesn't equate. And I feel like there's a lot of that with Tony's booking. He's like, like the John Moxley title runs kind of for me was honestly. But
And I just, maybe I've just not, and I watch every week, but maybe I'm just not as dialed in. And I love John. I love everybody in the Death Riders. I really enjoy that company. But I've had more than one person try to sit me down and explain to me what John has been talking about for months. And okay, I'm just
he's cutting Raven promos, dude. They don't make any sense.
See, but I've been told they do, and I've been told that. Yes, I've been told they do, and this is what he means. And I'm like, I guess we're watching two different things. And at the end of the day, tonight I'll probably sleep pretty good. I'm not going to be upset over it, but I still don't understand.
Are any of the people that told you that interested in some, beachfront property in Arizona?
Well, he's hated, and they booed him out of the building when he worked Paige. Like, who am I to say that everyone that I'm right, everyone's wrong? I don't know if that's true.
I'll say you're right. You're right on this one, Tom. That was a bad title run. People are done with the Death Riders. It's death.
By the way,
it's actual death.
In that tag match,
I'll be the scapegoat.
in that trios match, it was Paige and Mox again.
Maria,
Why?
She's right here. Look, she doesn't understand it either. See, people just pretend that they understand it.
I just don't. Paige beat Mox, and then Mox gets his rematch just like that and loses. We're done. We are done.
What? It's over.
Move on.
You lost twice. Go home.
Or find someone. And I thought, oh, it's going to be Darby and Mox. Excellent. You could run this forever, and it doesn't matter because there's no belt, and they could trade wins. Excellent. But no. Mox versus Paige in a trios. Why?
Why a trios match? We're just throwing groups together. This is the problem. This is exactly what I'm saying. There's only one man that knows how to book these groups that Tony Khan's trying to book, and he's in Japan, brother.
I think you're stuck on that. I think you're so stuck on that.
Look at the matches on this show. How many people were on the show, and how many of them were like trio plus matches or interferences?
He's trying to get everybody on the card he possibly could.
Okay.
Because
how many people are in Don Callis' group right now?
48.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the trios champions?
I mean, if you're going to be like that about it.
Yeah. See, you can't even remember who the trios champions are because it doesn't matter. There's too many people on the show. There's too much stuff that doesn't matter, dude. Like, I'm not even trying to be mean about the show because I actually thought it was a fun show.
Well, it's still Joe and Hobbs and Shibata, right?
Is it though?
I think so. Yeah.
It is.
I know more than you do. You don't watch it.
That's not true. I do watch it.
You don't.
Don't watch it as intensely as you watch it.
You do not watch it. Kids, we've gone over an hour, but before we go, we told you we got 2 more shows to talk about. So really quickly, check this out.
Get ready for Ray's Sports and Slams. Join Ray Dean for this brand new show that dives into the latest news from the world of sports, pro wrestling, and much more. Watch the series premiere on Monday, October 6th, and catch the series teaser coming this week on Boink Studios YouTube. Don't miss it.
By the way, the series teaser is available, kids. Where you ask? It's on the Boink Studios YouTube, and it's also available wherever you get your audio podcasts. Hit the chat for the Boink Studios YouTube link, and you can find the show on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and more. So go check it out. If you'd rather get all the links in one place, boinkstudios.com, kids. There you go. So, yeah, we're probably going to take this home. We've been an hour and some change here.
What was your favorite match before we go of the Dynamite 6-year?
I think Fletcher and Orange was pretty good.
Yeah, Fletcher and Orange, I think, was easily the best match.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy Orange. I will be honest with you. It's only week 2, so I'm not pressing any kind of panic buttons. But I think I need to hear from him. I think I need a promo. I think I need something that's not conglomeration related, where he is looking at the camera and I'm not saying break character because that's not his style. But something like, I sat at home for X number of months and I only thought about doing one thing, and that's doing this. And then you give him a mission. Because right now it's kind of like comedy haha stuff, which is fine, but also not fine. Unless it's fine with everybody.
I actually kind of agree with Maria. I would have brought Orange back a little bit differently, but I enjoyed the match.
I did too.
And and I agree with you. I kind of always wanted a heel. Let's do a heel Orange Cassidy.
I don't think you should. I don't think it's a good move.
I don't think it's now. I don't think it needs to happen now.
I don't think it's a good move because I
think he'd be a very fun character.
Maybe he could pull it off because he's very good, but I just don't know if you need it. Like, I don't know that I ever needed Hook to be heel, but
Hook's been heel.
Well, yeah.
Before what did he do? Did he yell at his dad?
He was heel. You don't remember? Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yes, he was heel. He was with Team Taz, wasn't he?
It's the okay. Does that make him heel that he's in a team with his dad?
No.
Oh, they argued with Sting that one time. Also, with Andrade coming back, I want to get this out there before I forget.
Yes.
I hope he yells at Darby and asks him where his emo daddy Sting is. Can we get that? Can we get that back? Where's your emo daddy Sting?
I got thoughts about that Sting thing. I'll share them with you off mic because I think I've complained enough today. But
what other Sting happened? I was more talking about Andrade's promos when he would grab up Darby and be like, "Where's your emo daddy?"
There wasn't a Sting thing that happened. I just have a thought. Robbie says, I hate to make the comparison, but I think in certain matches, AEW is kind of like ECW in the fact that they try to see how much blood can be shed. But beyond that, they're a company that gives younger wrestlers a platform and fans a new option to watch wrestling. I mean, I see where you're coming from on the blood thing. I just think that certain guys really want to do it, like Mox and other guys who feel like this is necessary for this match to tell a story. And I'm okay with that. Do I want out of 8 matches 4 of them to have blood? No, because I don't think it's necessary that many times. Because I think once you see it more than once, Chris, you're losing its impact at that point. But I could be wrong.
You're talking about the amount of blood on a show. Sorry, I cut off for a second. My problem with them doing it is not that it happens. So the tacks happen, the flames happen, the tables happen. It's not any of that. It's that you don't do it 3 matches in a row.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it doesn't mean anything when you get to the 3rd match.
Nothing.
So if they didn't do any of the other hardcore stuff they did on the last pay-per-view and they saved it for that big MJF Mark Briscoe match, the Mark Briscoe MJF match has a bigger impact. It means more.
Yeah.
So my problem is not people blading, like blade all you want. Just do it in the right spot. The whole show doesn't need it. Everyone doesn't need to bleed on the show. When you watch a boxing event, not everyone bleeds. You know what I mean? Like it's not. It's a little bit of, you take a little bit of the realism out of it and also you take a little bit of the specialness out of a great, like the idea of getting color in a match or having a table spot or having a tack spot is to just give it that little like mwah, chef's kiss, right? Mm-hmm. And it should be the only time you do it on the show. If every match is doing it, then you're just doing it to do it.
So I worked in retail for a lot of years, as you know, and the company I worked for tended to put like sale tags on almost everything. If it wasn't this week's ad, it was a price drop or something. So you look down the shelf and there's 80 sale tags. So my point of view, and I stuck with it for years, was if everything is on sale, nothing's on sale. Do you know what I mean? Because it's impossible. It's kind of like the same thing what you're talking about here, I think. Like if everyone's doing it, then I don't care. Then it's not real anymore. It does take away from it for me, you know?
If everything is a blue light special, then nothing is a blue light special.
Nothing is, because they're not going to give away the entire store. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. It's that, and it's also just an absurd amount of blood, and it turns off, like, I wouldn't show that. If I had a kid, I wouldn't be like, let's sit down and watch AEW together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're turning off a subsection of your audience that you could have. I'm not saying never do blood. I think that's like a terrible idea. Blood happens in life, but every match doesn't need it. And then also it's the urgency in which they get it for me. So like if you go back and watch AEW, the pace that they put those matches at, like your good AEW matches or ECW matches where these people are trying to kill each other, it's very different than let's do this long drawn out thing. We're going to put skewers in a guy's head or let's build these table ramps or whatever. Like that's not, that doesn't equate WZW was back in the day for even what they're trying to do. Or if you want to go across the pond to like, was FTW his gimmick. There's no urgency in trying to murder the man is what I'm getting at. Like if you're just doing it to do it, then it doesn't mean anything. It's my problem with AEW's hardcore wrestling is that, a good example of this is when Moxley slammed Kenny Omega through that glass table. This is early AEW. There was urgency about that. He felt like it looked like he wanted to kill that man. Right? Yeah. That makes sense. Just having a match to have it. Okay.
Ray says DOS Effects or Digital Underground and Nas are Big Pun. And if Adam Cole invited you to the grand opening of the Adam Cole Halloween store, and would you get any Halloween costume or accessory, what would you get? And if he said you can invite a friend, would you please call? Later wanted to get dinner, which included barbecue brisket, fries, and water, plus apple pie. Can I have? What do you think, Chris?
DOS Effects and Nas. I do love Big Pun though. That's there's a great video out there on YouTube of DMX. I want to say Big Pun. I'm trying to remember. I think Future was there. Not Future. God, I'm trying to think. But it's a freestyle, and Big Pun murders everyone at the table. Go look that up. It's great. Big Pun's great. Adam Cole, yeah, sure. You always a Halloween store in which you can have any Halloween costume or accessory. What would you get? Just a giant Pikachu. I'd be a giant Pikachu. But yes, always Ray, any day.
When my kid was little, because we took him trick or treating in a neighborhood not far from here every year, and one year I dressed up like Punk, and I don't think I've done anything since then. I don't dislike Halloween, but as you know, I'm not a horror movie guy. So when it comes to we're gonna go dress up, I'm like, I don't care. I'm like.
I guess it was 2 years ago I did Mick Foley with the leather mask and the button up and all that. I actually won a contest at Sweetwater Bar and Grill, which is located in Duluth, Georgia. If you're ever in Duluth, Georgia and need a cheap beer, there's a good place to go.
Are they sponsoring the podcast? Why are you giving these guys a shout out for?
Hey, because they're my friends.
Well, then they need to be a sponsor. Then you hear that, guys, at the place he just said.
That you can't remember.
I can't remember.
This is how we make money, guys.
That's right. They're at the Duluth barbecue joint.
It's a bar, but
bar. Duluth bar there in the Georgia, the state of Georgia.
But in any case, I'll send you some photos to post on your Facebook.
I'm sure you want. Yeah, that makes sense. Maria says I watched ECW with my brother when I was 9 years old. When my kid was growing up, I took him to a lot of pro wrestling shows, and I let him in on it from the beginning. I flat out told him because I was not paranoid, but I was concerned because I didn't want my kid thinking it was okay to solve your problems with your fists. I just didn't. I didn't want him to think that, and I didn't want him to see me cheering and stuff and him going, well, Dad did okay. So I just told him straight up, I was like, son, what you're about to see is going to be fun. You're probably going to love it, but no one's going to really get hurt tonight. Okay? Everybody's going to try to get home safe to their families. That's the point of this. This is what we call a show. And it never ruined it for him. He still enjoyed it. He still had fun. It never made him go, you killed it for me. Not one time.
So also, ECW is less violent than people remember. All of the big moments that they've packaged together for forever, if you watch the weekly show, which you can watch or used to be able to watch on Peacock or WWE Network, depending on where you live. The weekly shows, there's some violent matches, but not like in comparison to an AEW pay-per-view, it's kind of it's not what you were going to expect.
Yeah. Ray, of course, on everything. Yeah, I agree with Chris on the music for sure. For sure. For Halloween, like I said, I'm not really a Halloween guy, so I don't know if I'd do anything. If I'm being honest.
I was
That's a
going to
crap
cut
answer.
a big pun verse and then realize that the first verse is so dirty that I can't do it.
Well, you can't do it. What kind of show you think this is? Man.
All I need is one mic.
You can't work blue. You ain't working blue on this show.
I went with Nos instead. Well,
there you go. Work blue on your own show. All right, kids, that's all we got for you. We're going to start our weekend. Chris, before we let them go, tell everyone where they can find you on the internets.
It's Christopher.R.Patton on Facebook and Christopher.R.Patton on Instagram. I got music out there. Got 2 new podcasts coming up. The Bachman's Basement, which Tom is going to tell you more about. It's the spooky season, so get excited for that. And the Patton Report. If you like video games, if you like just hearing people talk about shows or movies, we will have some guests incoming. The first episode is a solo show. So if you like the way my voice sounds, the ASMR, all joking aside, it's about Pokemon. The big episode is about Pokemon. So if you like Pokemon, or you like hearing people talk about Star Trek Voyager, that's the first episode.
Interesting.
Patton Report.
Well, there you go. Chris, thanks as always, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, always. And I will also be on Ray's Sports and Slams. So
October 13th.
You get to hear me cry about the Bravos.
That's right. 1 week after the premiere. And I'll be on the premiere with Ray this coming Monday, kids. You don't want to miss it. All right, Chris. Thanks again, my friend.
Thanks.
All right. So there you go, kids. We're going to let everybody get to their weekend now. And we appreciate you very much watching. One more final plug for you. I'll make it easy. Boink Studios on the YouTube or boinkstudios.com. I would appreciate it very much. Again, as Chris said, 2 brand new shows coming from Chris. Bachman's Basement, which is a review going into the deep and unforgettable and sometimes unsettling world of Stephen King, where they're going to start off reviewing all of Richard Bachman's books. It's Chris Patton and Chris Clausen. They're starting off with Rage. Rage is the first episode, and it's coming actually next Saturday. So you don't want to miss that, kids. I promise you it's going to be good. You're going to love it. And before we go, we've got you here. Why don't we just play it, even though we've bid Chris adieu? Check this out.
The series premiere of Bachman's Basement is coming on Saturday, October 11th. Celebrate the month of Halloween with this chilling journey into Rage, the first Richard Bachman novel by Stephen King. You'll find it at 10 a.m. on Boink Studios YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Listen if you dare.
Goosebumps, huh? Scared you, didn't it? Don't lie to me. Don't be dishonest. I'm the guy. I'm your guy here, man. I'm your host. I'm your MC. That's me, okay? Me and Chuck D, just like that. No. Don't mess with me. It's scary, right? It's going to be a fun show, kids, I promise you. It is going to be adult-themed, okay? So if you got little ones in the room, you may want to put the AirPods in because they're going to talk about certain things in the books, but we're adults here. We can handle it. And if you can't handle it, then there's a bunch of other shows you can handle that doesn't have that stuff. But please give it a shot because I actually can't wait. I've got audio, but I haven't listened to any of it yet. Isn't that terrible? I actually think I want to experience it the way everyone else is going to experience it. I'm going to wait till it releases. I'm just saying because I can't wait to hear what the guys talk about. And also, again, the Patton Report coming next Thursday. And again, this coming Monday, Ray Sports and Slams. That's all I'm going to try to say today, kids. I promise you. Thanks again, as always, for watching us. Please give us a follow on all the social media. We'd very much appreciate it. Follow Boink Studios on the Facebook for all the latest breaking news and everything that goes along with all the podcasts we have there on the YouTube. And we'd appreciate that very much. Kids, thanks as always for hanging out. Have a great weekend. We appreciate you very much. And we'll see you next time, kids.